Morning Grind with Pork Rinds.
Welcome to the show.
What's up, North Georgia? Dave Garner with you right here on another Morning Rant. It is a Rally Towel Tuesday here inside our Carriage Kia studios. Welcome to the program once again as we get set to rock and roll, and we appreciate you guys being with us. A lot to talk about over this next hour as we bring you inside, and again, a lot of things. Of course, college basketball, man, we are on the fringe of March Madness. We've got conference tourneys, of course, cranking up this week. ACC tournament starts today. SEC tournament starts tomorrow, so a lot of different things going on throughout our really our area, and you know, we're going to break it down a lot today. The biggest thing, of course, is the new league year for the NFL. The Falcons making some big moves, really chasing some headlines. A lot of folks, of course, talking about the whole Tua Tagovailoa situation. We're going to talk about that. We're going to break down the World Baseball Classic, the Team USA getting a big dub last night against Mexico. So a lot of things, of course, high school basketball as well. We're going to take a more regional approach and look at some of our high school basketball teams that will be down in Macon playing for a state championship this weekend. A lot of excitement, and we appreciate you guys being right here in the show. Again, this is a Rally Towel Tuesday, and we appreciate all of our friends from Geiger Legal for being on board with us right here. We got our rally towels around here somewhere. I've got them up on the wall here behind me, but we appreciate you guys being with us right here on another program. Also want to thank my friends at Foundation Wealth in Dalton. Again, Joel Hudson, Eric Dakota, those guys doing an excellent job as well, answering questions about scams, frauds, this, that, and the other, you name it, and we appreciate everyone being on board. Again, we are the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the SportsPig app and online at sportspigradio.com, and I want to bring in my co-host for today is the myth, the man, the legend himself, Billy Dowd, back with us right here on a Rally Towel Tuesday. And man, looking at you here in the studio, you got some hardware draped over your shoulder.
Yes, sir. We got the NLGC Championship belt from this weekend. The golf tournament I mentioned last week up at Rising Fawn McLemore Resort in the golf course. Awesome.
Yeah. You had to tell me where Rising Fawn. I had to look it up like I talked about because I honestly didn't know where Rising Fawn, Georgia was. But but anyway, you came away with it. So folks that are watching on YouTube, they can see, man, you are decked out here today, man. You've got the official hat. You've got the belt. You've got the championship wrestling belt from winning the tournament. You've got the polo on as well. So you're totally representing. And man, I'm proud of you, man. I mean, you went out there. You talked about it last week right here on the show. You went out there and you got the dub, man. You brought home.
Yeah, shout out to the NLGC. We got it done. It was wet, 15-mile-an-hour winds, but your boy stayed strong.
Man, that's what it's all about right here, man. Billy D, right back here in studio with us right here. The champion of the NLG. Now, this is like a series, right? I mean, is this just a one-time deal?
It's just like the PGA Tour. Yeah, just like the PGA Tour. We have several tournaments, about 2 a month, and you get points as you go along through, and we're all split up by handicaps. I'm in flight 2, which is the handicap between 10 and 15.
Okay,
so
all right.
That's where I compete. So
you look like you're like one step away from getting your PGA card, man, at this point. I mean, come on. You've already got the wrestling belt. I mean, how much better does it get? You know?
Awesome.
So
awesome. Love it.
Man, I tell you, a lot of things going on. We're going to talk about that a little bit more later on in the show. But for those of you that can see the video again on YouTube, you can see Billy D is decked out here today. We were talking yesterday about Georgia Tech. Of course, men's basketball, Damon Stoudermeyer let go as the head coach of Georgia Tech. The Jackets with just one NCAA tournament bid since 2010. Obviously, for a program like Tech with the history and tradition they have, that's not going to cut it. So again, the moves are already being made at the collegiate level for those teams that are basically already out of it or what have you, just as much as we talk about the NFL, which we're going to do here a little bit later on in our second segment, particularly with the Atlanta Falcons. But that kind of brings us into tournament time. And I know Selection Sunday is looming on Sunday. There's a lot of talk out there about teams like Miami of Ohio potentially could be 31-0 and yet miss the tournament. I mean, how is that possible?
They'll get in.
I mean, I would hope so, but I mean, how is that even possible that a 31-0 team wouldn't be in the tournament simply because they don't get the automatic bid anymore? The MAC doesn't get the automatic bid, so they're going to keep those guys out of the tournament at 31-0.
Yeah, I mean, but they're not going to let that happen.
I hope not.
It wouldn't be fair to the kids. I mean, 31-0. I don't care what level you are. You win 31 games and not lose any. you deserve a shot.
Yeah,
at least a shot.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Absolutely. Yeah. And basketball, of all things, I mean, basketball is such a rhythm and the energy at the time. Like those teams can be momentum and all that. Yeah, they can make it happen.
And who knows what, even if they do make it in, which hopefully they will. I mean, I think they should make it in regardless, unless they just really fall apart here, for some reason. But the thing about it is, I mean, even being 31-0, they're still going to be an 11 seed. Projected, something low end like that. So
I'm okay with that.
As long as you're in, because as we
right.
see, it doesn't really matter necessarily the seedings, but nonetheless,
just give me a shot.
Yeah, just give me a shot, baby. That's all I want, man. I want a chance at the dance.
That's right.
So hopefully teams like Miami, Ohio bubble teams. What about Georgia? I mean, we are the home of Georgia basketball right here on the Sports Pig, and we've been airing all of the University of Georgia basketball games. Big win, as we mentioned last week, against Alabama, which that alone may not be enough, but I think they've done enough at this point on paper and on the court certainly to earn a bid.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited about it. Listen, I got all jacked up about them last year getting into the tournament.
Right.
And I was all excited. Ben Thacker, who I share office with, Home Access Financial, shout out to Ben Thacker.
Right.
He got me all excited. He's a big Georgia fan. And I'm sitting there, and the tournament comes, and the Dogs are there, and we're let down like 32-8 after like the first or second quarter. I'm like, just take the whole air out of it. But that's not going to be the case this year, Dogs. That's not going to be the case.
I hope not. I hope that's not the case at all. Hey, we're talking about March Madness, chopping it up. A big shout out to Ben. I know your friend, man. He's a great guy, and we appreciate him listening in this morning. I know he's listening on the app. And again, we do want to remind folks, we are on the app. Go to wherever you download your apps, Apple, Android, wherever, and download the Sports Pig app. And also, you can listen online at sportspigradio.com. Now, we do archive the shows on the website as well. So if you're unable to hear it live because you're right in the middle of a busy work day, we understand 10 to 11 may not be the most convenient time for you to listen live to something if you don't have your AirPods in or earbuds or what have you. But you can go back and listen to the shows, the podcast audio version of the show, if you will, on our website at sportspigradio.com. We appreciate you guys being with us. As always, on social media, the Sports Pig on Facebook and on Twitter. Some call it X, but I call it Twitter. And The Morning Rant now on Instagram at The Morning Rant and also on YouTube at The Morning Rant as well. And we appreciate you guys being with us right here on a Rally Towel Tuesday. Man, I tell you, a lot of things going on in the world of sports, and we were talking about golf, and we actually had this conversation yesterday with Big John Davis about how the Live Golf Series and stuff has really kind of pushed the hand of the PGA, who a lot of the golfers like the Phil Mickelsons and so forth of the world were talking about, the PGA is just not spending money. They're hanging on to money. These guys are going over to Saudi Arabia to make a boatload of money. And so all of a sudden the game has changed a little bit with golf. I know you just won a golf tournament. You look like you belong in the PGA this morning with that big championship belt and that Nike polo on. There you go. But I want to get your thoughts real quick because you are a big golfer, obviously, and I want to get your thoughts a little bit about golf as we transition in and climb closer to PGA season. Obviously the Masters is right on the horizon as the azaleas begin to bloom here in this warmer weather. What are your thoughts right now on the state of golf and how it looks for the PGA?
I love it. They got look, this time of year start looking towards the Masters. That's kind of the kickoff to the season. That's when people start actually thinking about golf and the springtime and everything. And look, I absolutely love it. The Tiger Golf League with the indoor golf, arena golf. I don't know if you've seen it on ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
But
absolutely.
I think that has been really cool for golf because people are going to it. They're seeing it in a different light. The players can kind of get their personality out there a little bit more.
Yeah.
You see them get excited and jacked up and not have to be all professional and all that kind of stuff on the golf course. Quiet.
There's
please.
Some showmanship. There's some applause.
Man.
Like they encourage that from the crowd.
Happy Gilmore indoors. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I absolutely love it. They cheer and go crazy, and I think that's how golf should be. Honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think and maybe a little bit of the Happy Gilmore playing off of that. Bringing that into the indoor league. Atlanta. I want to say Atlanta won the championship last year. The Atlanta indoor team did.
Absolutely did.
So again, it's a great it's a great thing. It's great for the game of golf because it puts it out there to some different audiences. It's not necessarily the exact same crowd that you see, walking the course every Sunday or what have you.
So got indoor simulator leagues right now.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you know that, but they got golf indoor simulator leagues for just regular folks like us.
Yeah, I remember they had during the COVID year, they had the NASCAR simulator league where the drivers actually had the driving simulators and would do that. And by the way, we are the home of NASCAR as well. Listen to each and every Cup race right here on the Sports Pig as well. But yeah, golf is definitely a lot more interesting, I think, to watch now than it was when maybe you and I were growing up. And then Tiger comes along, the game changes as we know. And now I think that folks are taking notice. So, kudos to the PGA, kudos to Arthur Blank, who of course is pushing the big indoor league, and some other folks are really trying to get golf into the national limelight with that. Speaking of national limelight, last night, Team USA in the World Baseball Classic, and we'll touch on this a little bit later on in the show, getting the big win there 5-3 over Mexico as they remain unbeaten in the play. The biggest thing I think that surprises me about the World Baseball Classic, Billy, is that the fandom. You would think that when they're on the field, they hit, and we've had several walk-off home runs and things that have happened over the first, week or so of pool play. Man, the crowds you would think it's Game 7 of the World Series with the fanaticism and just how ecstatic the crowd is, and they go nuts, man.
Well, I got to tell you, honestly, the rest of the world has a much bigger picture of this event than America does.
Right.
And you can even hear the American players say, man, I've never heard a stadium this loud, when we're winning and playing. And so I just think the rest of the world just takes it a lot more seriously than we do.
Right,
but, hey, we're the number one seed, and we're winning, and we're making things happen.
We're doing it, man. I like Team Dominican. They're basically, they read like an all-star team for sure, an MLB all-star team. And so, it's going to get interesting as we get a little bit past pool play and start getting into those elimination rounds. I think Israel was eliminated yesterday, I believe, by maybe Dominican or Puerto Rico or somebody, I believe. But
sounds like they should.
Yeah, it sounds like they should. What cracks me up about it, we're up against our first break. What cracks me up about it, though, is the Netherlands has such a good team because of Curacao. Curacao is technically a Netherlands, established province, if you will. So, again, Ozzie Albies of the Atlanta Braves, all these guys from Curacao making up the Netherlands baseball team, and they're
smoked.
Yeah, they did. But they're still pretty excited. But anyway, a lot of fun right here. Appreciate you guys being with us. As we said, we're up against our first break. Appreciate you guys being right here on this Rally Towel Tuesday. It's the Morning Rant right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. That's the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Tired of shouting your business's name into the void and getting nothing but crickets? Your brand deserves more than awkward billboard glances and flyers lining bird cages. Right now, listeners are hearing me ramble on instead of your ad. That's a touchdown for missed opportunities and a fumble for your wallet.
Recovered, Atlanta. Game over.
Your ad could be here, making fans laugh, cheer, and most importantly, call you. Go to sportspigradio.com or call 678-454-9552 and get your business off the bench and into the game.
We bring the heat. You bring the trash talk.
Come on, man. Are you serious?
It's the Morning Rant, live on the Sports Pig app and sportspigradio.com.
Back here on the Morning Rant, Dave Garner with you till 11 o'clock. Chuck Oliver on deck at 11 to 1 today right here on the Sports Pig. Again, your home for ESPN Radio and Southern Sports Today with Chuck Oliver from 11 to 1 right here. Appreciate you guys being back with us here on a Rally Towel Tuesday. We're talking with Billy D about the Falcons here in just a moment. But first, one of the headlines that broke that's getting a lot of national attention, you may have heard it this morning over on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN right here on the Sports Pig, was the Atlanta Hawks. Now, again, as we mentioned last week, we won't say what it really was for the sake of keeping the show PG, but let's just say they were scheduled to have a lemon pepper wing night essentially, but the NBA did step in and cancel that, and that kind of brought you and I talking during the break about our favorite foods, because we had mentioned the whole wing thing last week as far as some of our favorite sports dishes, game day dishes, but you thought of another one too that you forgot to talk about.
Oh man, well I forgot because my wife brought it up and I was like, oh yeah, I love those, the sausage balls.
Man, yeah, you gotta have
balls. You get the little cheddar biscuit mix from the Red Lobster deal, and you mix it in there, and then you get you some spicy brown mustard. Ooh. And let me tell you, I could just dive into those any game, anytime, and you eat it through the whole day.
Yeah,
whole day.
That's one thing I love. I mean, you get to certain times of the year, Super Bowl, what have you, and it's just a lot of snack foods, which that'll get you in trouble. But I love it. I love things that you can kind of eat on throughout the day. You don't just have to eat it all at once as a meal.
Never been scared of a snack over here.
Yeah. How much for a Scooby snack? Hey, man, I don't know, but we'll eat them all day long, right? So appreciate you guys being back with us right here on the Morning Rant. Again, we are the home of a regional and national sports right here. And coming up in our next segment, I'm going to tease it for you. We are going to talk a little high school basketball. We'll bring it back home a little bit as we talk about some of our local area teams, high schools that will be down in Macon this week. The state championships, of course, get underway tomorrow, actually on Wednesday through the weekend. So a lot of North Georgia representation in this year's bracket, and we're excited about that. We're also going to talk about our favorite sports moment from the weekend with Billy D coming up in the next segment. But right now, let's jump into a little bit of Falcon talk. Obviously, the Falcons, one of the teams in the NFL, making headlines yesterday, primarily because of the move with Tua Tagovailoa, of course, signing the one-year deal with the Falcons. Of course, I want to get your take on that, but really a lot of other moves, too, that we'll dive into, and really around the league. Like I say, I like to call it the silly season. Things that we're going to talk about later in the show, Mike Evans, a six-time Pro Bowler leaving Tampa to go to San Francisco. I mean, a lot of big moves happening yesterday alone.
I'm happy to not face him twice a year now.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
I'm happy not to face him. It's the end of his career, towards the end, and I think it makes a whole lot of sense. I think he can go out there and potentially get a ring.
I do too. No doubt about that. And I think that's what he's doing right now. He's doing the Kevin Durant, basically. He's doing some ring chasing right there, trying to latch on with somebody. Not that Tampa's necessarily been a dumpster fire by any means with Baker Mayfield over the last couple of years. But let's talk a little bit specifically, Billy, about that move yesterday. Your thoughts initially. I know that you had a night to sleep, and your thoughts may have changed a little bit overnight about the whole Tua situation.
Oh, listen, I was trying to work yesterday, and Ben's trying to show me all these things that are happening, and he's like, hey, he says, hey, Tua just got released from Miami, and the Falcons are aggressively going after him. Yeah. I said, don't mess with me, Ben. Don't mess with me. I haven't taken my blood pressure medication yet because that's ridiculous. And then I paused for a minute. I looked over and I said, are you serious? Like, you're not messing with me? And he shows me it on his phone. I was like, God, I'm irritated. I'm like, what are we going to do? Have like a blue tent condo that him and Penix can share over there on the sidelines? I mean, look, Tua's always hurt. He's got the he has more wins than some of the others out there.
Yeah,
but the guy, listen, the head stuff just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly scared. Believe me, I'm honestly scared that something's going to happen to them on the field that nobody wants to see.
Right.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Legitimately, that's what I'm scared about with him. Take all the other stuff away. I don't think he should be playing football anymore. Honestly, I really don't.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. I mean, he really is one concussion away from ending his NFL career as it is. I mean, there were a lot of memes that came out yesterday that were showing, Tua on a stretcher being carried off the field and Michael Penix in a wheelchair with both legs, bandaged up after surgery. And you sit there and you think about it. And I think it was really a move. You and I had sat here last week right here and we talked about the possibility of a Joe Flacco, for example, coming to Atlanta, and we kind of like that move a little bit better. I certainly would have liked Flacco because of the veteran leadership, but at least he's established. Obviously not a long-term solution in the twilight of his career, but nonetheless maybe a little bit more experience, somebody that is not a concussion away, certainly from their career being gone.
Well,
so,
all these guys are going to be, signed for the league minimum. So you're just kind of taking your pick. I mean, even Kyler Murray, which I can't stand. I would like him better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I don't like any of them. So I think in me sleeping on it is the fact that, you know what, at the end of the day, I think we don't like Penix. We're not going to like Tua. We're not going to like Kyler Murray. We're not going to like any of these people to carry us forward.
Yeah.
So let's just do this little stopgap as cheap as we can to try to get through.
Yeah.
But I just think Tua was a bad choice in that situation. Because what about Tua's hurt? Now you don't have Penix. Who's coming in?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Who's coming in?
I think you hit it on the head with the whole financial thing. I think that was probably the biggest thing behind this move is that basically you have Tua on your roster and you're not really paying him anything because the Dolphins still owe him money. Kind of like we still owe Kirk Cousins money.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a situation where I think from the financial standpoint, I think that's ultimately why. And obviously, you got to think Ian Cunningham, the new general manager, and certainly Matt Ryan were behind the move there. So they obviously saw something that they thought at least maybe to a stopgap until, because here's the thing. Even if Penix comes back, he's probably not going to come back in time for opening day with the surgery, with the timeline. No. Now, he says he might, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. He's going to miss a few weeks out of the boat anyway.
And for the money, why not?
Yeah,
for the money, why not?
You know, at this point. But as we all know, Billy, and you know this, in the NFL, the one position you got to get right is quarterback. If you don't have the quarterback figured out, you're not going to be successful. It doesn't matter who you have around you. And for everybody that talked about, Tua, I mean, obviously he had, now Tyreek Hill I know was kind of a head case later on here the last year or two, but he had Jalen Waddle. He had a run game. He had, Achane.
He can have some good moments.
Yeah.
He can. He can have some good moments.
Yeah.
But, again, I don't think we know we're not going to fix the quarterback situation this year anyway.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's the whole point.
Yeah, exactly. What about some of the other moves? I mean, we saw Tyler Algier obviously moving on, going to the Cardinals. Yeah, I mean, we knew, Falcon fans, I say we, Falcon fans knew they weren't going to be able to hang on to both. He and Bijan, of course. Guy. So I do love Tyler. I hate to see him go, but we all kind of knew that was going to happen. That was not really a surprise. I noticed one thing that we talked about last week as far as needs was that wide receiver room. And, the Falcons bringing back some familiarity, and Olamide Zaccheaus, who was here at one time. They brought back Austin Hooper, a tight end who can, be a little bit more of a blocker, but can also kind of figure into the pass game. And, of course, Jahan Dotson from the Eagles as well. So, trying to fill that receiver room up a little bit, which I felt like certainly a need on this team. But it'll be interesting to see now with Jalen Carter talks on the table, the Eagles willing to deal him. Can the Falcons be a player for someone like that to shore up the middle, especially with Onyemata now being gone?
So I think a lot of this money stuff goes to trying to make sure we have some money to maybe do a Carter or something like that. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because we got to fill some gaps in there. We have to. I would be happy about it if that was the case, right?
Right.
Because you can't fix some of this stuff anyway.
Right. Exactly.
You can't.
Exactly.
So you might as well spend the least amount of money to get you through, right?
Yep.
So from that aspect, this also opens up what are you going to do in the draft, because we haven't really address wide receiver. I know we got the Dotson from Philly. Maybe you're moving Pitts in a little bit more to wide receiver, that bringing in Hooper.
Right.
Maybe you're going to
more conventional tight end set.
Interested to see what Stefanski's going to do with all this. It's interesting.
Well, Stefanski likes to run a lot of 12 personnel, which is 2 tight end sets, things like that. So I think it was pretty obvious, I think, that the Falcons were going to try to bring in a tight end of some shape or form.
Sure.
A veteran. Just for, Hooper, of course, left Atlanta. I think he went to Cleveland for a couple of years, ended up in New England this past year. So basically coming off a Super Bowl, season, if you will, with the Patriots. Yeah. Obviously another guy kind of at the twilight of his career, but hopefully a guy that can come in and contribute, that may understand the system a little bit. There's some other moves, too, going on, and we're going to talk about it later in the show, in the back half, the back end of the show, around the league. We talk about Max Crosby, of course. We talk about some different guys. Buffalo, I was talking with John yesterday, making some moves certainly in their conference and free agency. But yeah, we saw it. I mean, a flurry of activity taking place yesterday. It's going to continue throughout the next couple of weeks. Special teams, to me, has been one of the most awful things for the Atlanta Falcons.
No doubt.
When you look back on it, offensively, the team struggled. Defensively, much better, able to get to the quarterback, yet you're still a game under 500. But I think the one area of need for this football team, even more so than anything that's not being talked about, is special teams. And I don't just mean kicker and punter, which we have a new kicker and punter.
You just paid a lot of money for it now.
Yeah. Nick Folk comes over. Again, another guy in the twilight. He's in his 40s. Jake Bailey, a punter, coming over from Miami. But I want to see we need a guy in the return game. We haven't had a decent return game since Devin Hester was here for a season or two before he retired. Special teams is about generating field position. It's not necessarily about always putting up points, but it is about generating field position. And one area of need for this Atlanta Falcons team is a return game. It has been horrid, to say the least, over the last few seasons.
And as bad as we are, the dumpster fire that we are, you make a few kicks. Last season, we're in the playoffs.
One game.
Just
That's all you needed.
Just a few kicks.
One game.
As bad as we are, which says a lot.
Yes. you were still in a position, and I said this last week. I think a lot of it was on coaching. We talked about Raheem Morris being a rah-rah guy. I called him the Flavor Flav of NFL head coaches
Very
because
accurate.
he's the biggest hype man of all time. Great guy, good assistant in his own element, but just not what you need leading your program. And I think a lot of it came down to coaching. But at the end of the day, some of it does fall on the players and execution, certainly. And we just didn't get anything out of our special teams, and they refused to move on from the coach there and so forth. So again, now we're seeing kind of obviously a transition year, and so we'll see what happens. I know there's a lot of people out there that feel like the Falcons are shopping at TJ Maxx over this last day or two, picking up some of these guys that we are, to a certain extent. And so, again, it'll be interesting to see what they do the rest of the way. Some teams are kind of staying put. They're not making a lot of moves. The Falcons trying to be active. Anytime you have a change in leadership, that tends to be the thing. You have a flurry of activity, maybe nothing significant. Maybe some things are, but that's just, new leadership wanting to put their mark on the team at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, as they have said again, Falcons should be the best team in the South Division. But we've said
for the last 5 years now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with all these moves. But, I mean, we say that, we get excited, and we end up not being the best team in the division. So hopefully that changes.
Hopefully that changes. One thing I did hate to see, you might applaud it. I didn't like it. One guy that has been a ball hawk, I know he had a bad year last year, but he came back this year and played well, was D. Alford, back, however you want to say it, in the secondary, a guy that was always kind of around the ball, played at nickel, moonlighted at corner when we needed him, came up with some key interceptions, some big plays, some big breakups and big moments, but he did sign with the Buffalo Bills, it looks like, on a 3-year deal, so we are losing a little bit there in the back end. Hopefully we'll be able to replace him as well. We're up against our second break. Let's go ahead and step aside. We will continue the discussion right here on the Morning Rant. Stay with us. We are at the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Tired of shouting your business's name into the void and getting nothing but crickets? Your brand deserves more than awkward billboard glances and flyers lining bird cages. Right now, listeners are hearing me ramble on instead of your ad. That's a touchdown for missed opportunities and a fumble for your wallet.
Loose, recovered, Atlanta, game over.
Your ad could be here, making fans laugh, cheer, and most importantly, call you. Go to sportspigradio.com or call 678-454-9552 and get your business off the bench and into the game.
We bring the heat. You bring the trash talk.
Come on, man. Are you serious?
It's the Morning Rant, live on the Sports Pig app and sportspigradio.com.
And welcome back into the program. Dave Garner with you till 11 o'clock this morning. We are halfway home on a Rally Towel Tuesday. Appreciate you guys being with us right here on the program here with Billy D today till 11 o'clock, and then Chuck Oliver from 11 to 1 this afternoon. And then back to our ESPN regulars, Rich Eisen from 1 to 3, and our man Paul Feinbaum from 3 to 7 chopping it up. Again, always gets a lot of interesting debates going over there on the Paul Feinbaum Show. Hey, appreciate you guys being with us. Again, we were talking in the last segment about the Atlanta Falcons, a lot of big free agency moves, of course, taking place in the last day or two, and that will continue as the new league year begins into next week. And so it'll be interesting to see who ends up where. A lot of moving and shaking already going on in the league, and we'll talk about that. Also going to talk Braves spring training later in the week as the Braves continue a lot of split game action right now. Again, trying to finalize their opening day roster. Of course, Jurickson Profar not going to be part of that, it looks like. Handed down the 162-game suspension. So
Petfar.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, just a lot of unfortunate things already coming out of spring training for the Atlanta Braves. A couple of, guys, pitchers already kind of nicked up. Schwellenbach, a couple of those guys probably not going to be there when the season opens up here at the end of the month. By the way, Braves opening day scheduled, I believe, for March 27th, and we are expected to have some live coverage from Truist Park that day. We'll talk about that a little bit more. We've got some big announcements coming up right here on the program over the next couple of weeks, and also some promotions, some giveaways, some things that we're going to be doing. So keep it locked right here online, sportspigradio.com, also on our YouTube channel as well. You can watch the replays of the shows, and we are the official sports station of this year's Wing and Rock Fest. taking place not this Saturday and Sunday, but next weekend, March 21st and 22nd at the Etowah River Park in Canton, Georgia. An estimated crowd usually of around 20,000 people or so. Big sponsor this year is the Anchor Bar down in Kennesaw, which would definitely please our co-host John Davis. He's a big Buffalo Bill fan. They are one of the Buffalo Bills hangouts during football season, and again, the Anchor Bar is part of that. But Shane and his crew doing an excellent job. I know you'll be there a little bit, Billy, as well next weekend, and we look forward to seeing you guys there. Stop by the Pulse and the Pig Tent. Again, the Pulse is our sister station over on 101.1 FM. Looking forward to being there, as I know you are too.
Yes, absolutely. Looking forward to tasting all the different wings and seeing all the people out there and just having a great time.
You know, I think they're soliciting right now for some official judges. So, would you want to put your name in the hat for that, or what?
No, I just want to sit back and enjoy it. I don't want that smoke.
Oh man, I tell you what, we always say, like, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? And we'll bring that fire now. We can put down some wings, admittedly, between the two of us right here. But no, we were talking earlier in the show, and I wanted to transition in a little bit with our high school basketball. Again, we've got a couple of teams that we're going to be following in particular on Friday and Saturday. One of those teams is the Creekview Lady Grizzlies.
Let's go.
They're going to be down there taking on Milton, another school that's really just a few miles away in the grand scheme of things. You've got two programs separated by less than, 15 miles or so, probably at the most, I would say. Again, they're going to be going at it in the 5A Girls State Championship game on Friday at 5:30 down in Macon. And our live coverage of that will begin at 5:15 over on our sister station, 101.1 The Pulse. And then on Saturday, we're going to do it all over again in the morning as the Murray County Lady Indians take on Hardaway in a rematch of last year's 2A state championship. Murray County came out on the opposite end of that, so they are looking for a true redemption story this year. That one at 11 a.m. on Saturday. Our live coverage starts at 10:45. Once again, over on the Pulse, 101.1 FM. You can also download the app or pull up the live stream at 1011thepulse.com. Again, both stations have an app. Both stations have a live stream. Lots of ways to listen. We expect you guys to be listening in on Friday and Saturday for our live coverage. And Billy, I know you've got some ties to Creekview and kind of being in that East Cherokee area, so I know you're excited for those Lady Grizzlies particularly.
Man, I love basketball. I love the intensity. I love the fire. And if you've been to these high school basketball games, you can feel it. You can see it. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for the Creekview Grizzlies. My wife works in the system over there, so very excited about that. My son played over there. All my boys are over there. So, and Cherokee County has had a history of having really great women's basketball teams, ladies basketball. I mean, back when we were in high school, Etowah Eagles, the joke was that the girls could beat the boys team. I mean, if you remember. I mean, I don't know about that.
Maybe. I don't know.
They were going to state like all the time.
Oh, yeah, and you can say the same thing about Sequoia. We talk about the history and tradition of girls basketball in our local area. Basically, Cherokee County, 575 up 515, Gilmer, Pickens, Fannin, over along the 75 corridor with Dalton, with Calhoun boys. I mean, certainly. And then, of course, down into Cobb as well, as we talk about. Kell, by the way, in East Cobb, they're headed down to take part in the 4A state championship. And we've also got North Paulding, which is another one of our area schools right on the fringe of our coverage area. They're going at it in the 6A bracket. You got to like the 6A boys. The whole Final Four was Cobb County. You had Wheeler against McEachern, which Wheeler edged the Indians in that one. And then you had Pebblebrook and Hillgrove.
So cool.
Over on the other bracket. Yeah. Pebblebrook beat them, so it's going to be, of course, an all-Cobb County state championship on Saturday night at 7:30 with the 6A boys game between nationally ranked Wheeler and then Pebblebrook, which is basically just right down the road there in Mableton. So a lot of fun stuff happening over the weekend with our high school basketball, and it all starts tomorrow down in Macon. So again, we will be there Friday and Saturday, but if you're a fan of high school sports, a fan of high school basketball, definitely check it out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They've incorporated some three-point shooting competitions. I think there's a dunk competition on Saturday, like in between classifications in the middle of the day. So yeah, they're putting it together down there and providing a good atmosphere. So kudos to the GHSA. They've been great to us. I want to send a shout out to my man Marvin Jones at the GHSA for hooking us up and getting us squared away. All the venues have been great, and so we're looking forward to it.
bring your skills. See what you got.
There you go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
There you go. Time now for our favorite sports moments from the weekend.
Time to hang it in the Louvre.
Oh, this looks nice.
Our favorite moments from the week in sports here on the Morning Rant.
And again, we were talking about some of the things that happened over the weekend. And I know for you, Billy, it's probably a given. Your favorite sports moment from the weekend hit a little bit closer to home, a little more personally, with you winning the NLG Next Level Golf Club Championship over there at Rising Fall. What's the name of that course over there?
Macklemore, yes. Macklemore. It's on top of the mountain. They have the main course, and they also have the Keep, which is another course they just got up there. But, man, it was wet, 15-plus mile-an-hour winds. And, the one thing in golf, which anybody who plays golf knows, even the professionals, the one thing you cannot control is wind.
Yeah,
and you don't know what's going to happen. You can only guess. And, man, listen, I got fortunate. I had a lot of lucky bounces go my way.
Sometimes that's what it takes, though, you know?
Yeah, look, man, it's to be in a tournament where you're having to do the correct score. Like, this is real stuff. There's not mulligans in this thing. Like,
right.
Not done.
You don't get any freebies handed to you on this one.
No.
Yeah.
Everybody's hitting the rules, and to be able to win something like that against there was 30 other guys in my division. It's just really cool.
I love it. You sent me a meme of you putting on a green jacket and everything. I had to look closely to realize that wasn't real. Like, you totally AI'd that thing or something, but I was like, oh, wow, there's a crowd of people. He's putting on a green jacket with a wrestling belt. Now, the wrestling belt was real, though. You look like you just stepped out of the ring after having won the WWE Championship or something, because that's what you got. You're sporting the big wrestling belt right here today.
Taking this thing everywhere.
As I would, too, and I'd walk around with it all day long, proud and loud right there for sure, the Next Level Golf Club Championship. Speaking of wrestling, there is a big wrestling promotion this weekend that I want to mention for my buddy Phil Quarles over in Dalton putting it together. The Rock and Roll Express. They're still going at it, man. After all these years, there's a big event taking place this weekend over at the Playland Skate Center over in Dalton, Georgia at 7:30 on Sunday. This Sunday, at 7 o'clock this Sunday, Playland Skate Center is going to be playing host to a big wrestling event over there brought to you by Janine's She Shed and She Shed's 365. We appreciate that. So, again, check it out. We got some tickets to give away as well. So if you want tickets to that event, all right, all you got to do is go onto our social media page, go onto our Facebook page, message us on our Facebook page, message us at the Morning Rant here on Instagram as well. You can send us a message and say, hey, I want some wrestling tickets, and we'll see what we can come up with. So, again, message us right here on the program. Again, favorite Hang It in the Louvre moments. I think my favorite was watching and I said this yesterday, watching that World Baseball Classic, watching Ozzy Albies hit a walk-off, for the Netherlands, watching Acuna just be Acuna for Venezuela, hitting home runs, running the bases, doing all the things that we hope he'll stay healthy enough to do this year for our very own Atlanta Braves. And then, of course, Kyle Schwarber, even though he's a Philly, Philadelphia Philly, he hitting that bomb against Great Britain to put us up, and of course we ended up rolling Team USA still undefeated in the World Baseball Classic. As we mentioned, right on the heels of the Four Nations Face-Off, which was last year, kind of the hockey version, if you will, of that. And some people may not care, but I do love how some of these sports leagues are kind of doing these world stage, because we're seeing it with the NFL. I mean, the Falcons, speaking of the Falcons, they're going to Madrid. They're going to be the Spain game this year. We don't know the opponent yet, I don't think.
No.
But there's a lot of NFL games that are now being played overseas all over the world.
Yeah, I like it from that aspect of the competition standpoint. I'm not a huge fan of the NFL doing all these games over there. I like, 2 or 3, but they continually add more each year. But you know what? They're expanding it nationally around the world. So for their big plans and to continue to grow, that's what they got to do.
Yeah, and I don't want it to happen at the expense of the teams losing home games in their own stadiums.
Exactly.
Especially teams that draw well. Because it seems to be something that will take away from the fan experience. Because let's be honest with you, I mean, there's only so many fans that can afford a round-trip package to London or to Munich or to Madrid or even down to Brazil or wherever for an NFL game. But I know the whole idea behind that is to take the sport to a world level, increase the popularity of American football. We saw it with NASCAR. We had the chance, several weeks ago to interview Mike Helton, the former chairman, of NASCAR, and that was one of the things that they had kind of started to do was, and one of the things that, frankly, that I think kind of turned people off a little bit from NASCAR was getting away from their southern roots and running tracks in Chicago, out in California, doing different things, and even running an exhibition race or two overseas. I think that turned off a lot of your more traditional fan base. I know it did me a little bit. When you start taking races away from places like Rockingham and some of those places like they did, now they are trying to come back to some of those places, but I think you can definitely turn your fan base off a little bit too. But I think at this point the NFL is such a juggernaut, they probably don't have anything to worry about. It's a money machine.
They're making so much money, they're not worried about what you and I think.
Yeah. No,
I don't
right.
like it. I'll just tell you, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I like them staying close and here at home.
Yeah, sure. I like the fandom. I like the excitement of the game day atmosphere, although I will say the European fans do absolutely get into it, especially over in France and different places with different things. So it is fun to watch to see how other countries react to the league. We'll have to see if they continue to increase, and all this, of course, eventually leads into a franchise being over in London or what have you. So again, definitely a discussion for another time on another day. We're up against our final break. When we come back, we will talk and jump back in to the NFL a little bit with free agency, all that and more straight ahead right here as we wrap up the morning rant, the final segment coming up right here on the Sports Pig. Again, this is the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Tired of shouting your business's name into the void and getting nothing but crickets? Your brand deserves more than awkward billboard glances and flyers lining bird cages. Right now, listeners are hearing me ramble on instead of your ad. That's a touchdown for missed opportunities and a fumble for your wallet.
Loose, recovered, Atlanta, game over.
Your ad could be here, making fans laugh, cheer, and most importantly, call you. Go to sportspigradio.com or call 678-454-9552 and get your business off the bench and into the game.
We bring the heat. You bring the trash talk.
Come on, man. Are you serious?
It's the Morning Rant, live on the Sports Pig app and sportspigradio.com.
Hey, appreciate you guys being with us right here on a Rally Towel Tuesday. Dave Garner back alongside Billy D here as we rock and roll into the 11 o'clock hour. Chuck Oliver coming up right at 11. Right here on the Sports Pig with Southern Sports today. Chuck does a great job. Appreciate him being with us as always. And, of course, appreciate you guys, our valued and loyal listeners, being with us right here on the Morning Rant as well. Once again, we are the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. We are also your new North Georgia home of the Atlanta Braves. And I've got some program information coming up for you. There's a lot of people out there that wonder, well, how can we listen to spring training? Where can we go to listen to the Braves, listen to NASCAR? As we mentioned earlier, we're your home for every cup race. All you got to do is download the app or log into sportspigradio.com, hit our live stream, and you can listen to every single NASCAR cup race right here on the Sports Pig. You can hear the Braves games as well, but we are carrying some spring training games on both stations back and forth. And this Saturday, just so you guys know, the Braves are running a full radio format for you over on The Pulse. So again, over on our sister station on 101.1 The Pulse, we will have a full broadcast for you starting at 6:05. Atlanta Braves spring training action on Saturday night. That will take place later in the afternoon, of course, after we go off the air with the high school basketball state championship, the 2A girls championship between Murray County and Hardaway out of Columbus. And then, of course, later that night, it's Braves spring training action over on the dial over on 101.1 FM. The Pulse, and we appreciate you guys listening to us once again. As always, you can follow us on social media. Interact with us. Again, the Sports Pig on Facebook and on Twitter. Again, some call it X, I call it Twitter. And the Morning Rant on Instagram at the Morning Rant. And also full episodes on YouTube at the Morning Rant as well. Go like, subscribe, do all that normal social media stuff. Appreciate you guys being back with us. Billy D, let's jump in this last segment real quick, talk a little bit more about football. We've kind of jumped around today. We've kept it moving with everything from, high school basketball to the Team USA and the World Baseball Classic to the Atlanta Hawks, which, by the way, the Hawks are on a little bit of a heater right now since they let Trey go.
Six in a row. Six in a row, starting to come together a little bit. really nice to see Jalen stepping up. Jalen Johnson's really taking over things when he can.
Yep.
We've got Cooper Flagg in town tonight, so we'd like to see 7 in a row. But yeah, they're putting a little something together. See if we can make a little run here. I don't think we're going to threaten any NBA championships right now, but it's nice to see us kind of moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about it. I would love to see basketball
be relevant.
Be relevant, be in the spotlight.
In Atlanta.
Nationally here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Would be awesome because it's a great basketball town. It really is.
It really is. It's a great. And I was talking earlier this morning with our guys down the hall over on our sister station about this, and we were talking about the atmosphere inside State Farm Arena. I mean, it's electric, especially when the team's doing well.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's a little bit more, as we know, being up here in the North Georgia Mountains, a little bit more of an urban crowd typically. But when they're winning, people come from all over to
fun.
support the team. And I've been to a lot of Hawks games over the years and absolutely loved it. It's a great atmosphere, but, it is one of those things where, they've struggled so much. I'm just glad they're at least a game over 500. They've kind of worked all year long to get to that point. So for them to string together 5-6 wins, that certainly means a lot for an organization, frankly, when you look at it. When you look at the city of Atlanta, that's been kind of irrelevant. You're kind of stuck in the middle. You're in that 9-10 play-in spot every year, which is the worst place to be in the NBA, as we all know. You don't want to be there. You either want to be at the bottom to where you can get the lottery, or you want to be at the top, but you don't want to be in the middle, and that's kind of where this Hawks team tends to stay.
Yeah, but I think we're changing that. I like what Quinn's doing, and I think we're going to make a little bit of noise. I'm hoping we make a little bit of noise. Let's say that.
I hope so, too.
From the buzzer beaters to the big hits. If it's making noise in the world of sports, we've got something to say about it. This is
Now That's What I'm Talking About.
That's what I'm talking about.
your all-access pass to the hottest takes in the world of sports.
So, again, we're talking about the Falcons earlier. And, again, Atlanta making a lot of moves yesterday. We were talking about the whole Tua Tagovailoa thing as we transition into Now That's What I'm Talking About, weekdays right here on the Morning Rant. Billy, what you talking about today, man? What's sticking out about the Falcons or really anything going on around the league? A lot of moving and shaking. We talked about Mike Evans, 6-time Pro Bowler, jetting for the San Francisco 49ers. We're talking about, different teams making a lot of different moves. There's some other big-name acquisitions, free agency, silly season as I call it, moving around. Anything else that jump off the page at you yesterday as you were trying to get some work done?
Yeah, I think some interesting stuff out of the Raiders. They just a few years ago they got rid of Khalil Mack, right? They get rid of Crosby, which is, he's just a major player. They've got rid, two just, I think, phenomenal defensive players, and they get rid of them. But again, I think they're making room for what they're ultimately going to do, because by the time they're going to draft Mendoza, and so by the time Mendoza,
I think they've already got those jerseys printed, don't they?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. They're selling them right now. But they, by the time he gets to where he's actually kind of making things happen, they hope, right? Crosby might be a little older at that point, so they're trying to build young. They got Bowers out there. They've got the Silver Surfer, for the Raiders back there. And again, I think he's got a lot of talent, but the line has been terrible. And they signed the center for a record contract. To help their line up there. So I think that was just some huge, interesting moves by the Raiders. Kubiak, I think, is a great coach that's going to be over there to put that thing together. So just interesting. I'm not a Raiders fan. I just found it to be very interesting.
Well, one thing they're doing, they're trying to build another Georgia defense like Philadelphia did. I don't know. They brought over Stokes. They brought over a couple of former Bulldogs. I think they got Quay Walker from the Packers, which I'm a Packer fan, so I hate that the Pack lost Walker, but he's going to Las Vegas. And then you also had Nakobe Dean, I believe, from the Eagles that's also headed there as well. So, again, the Raiders trying to build something similar to what the Eagles have done, basically with UGA North. Up there in Philadelphia, and trying to pull over from a more regional standpoint here, some of those dogs over onto the defense there to try to duplicate that success. But no, a lot of moving and shaking. Guys are restructuring contracts. I think that's going to be the biggest X factor in this offseason, is seeing who's willing to do that in order to stay with their program. But as you and I know, in today's climate of the NFL, you don't see that very often. I know Ed Oliver of the Buffalo Bills did that. He restructured to be able to stay in Buffalo. The Bills have been making a flurry of moves. They Taron Johnson, corner, signed, I believe, with the Rams. Taylor Rapp, one of their safeties, left. They cut him. So, again, a lot of teams, as we said, wheeling and dealing right now.
What about Seattle and K9? They got rid of K9.
Yeah,
I thought he was a player.
Yeah,
I thought he was. I was really surprised to see that move. I'm not really sure what's going on.
I think a lot of it has to do with money. I mean, obviously, but everything comes down to money, right? Everything comes down to money. I think in a lot of ways, when you start looking at the payroll, everybody's at what, $300 million or whatever it is, and you don't have room to keep people. I mean, it's like the Falcons with Tyler Algier. You would love to have kept him as the backup to Bijan because that's such a great 1-2 punch. You just can't hang on to those guys for very long, especially after a team that wins the Super Bowl. It's all about winning championships. Of course, I know they want to win another one next year, with Mike McDonald, who, by the way, is a Georgia grad. And was there the same time Maria Taylor was there. It's funny because yesterday I have John Davis. He's always wearing his Georgia Tech gear. I got Billy D in here today, who's a big Bulldog. So a lot of fandom. And then I've got Will Cooper in here later in the week, who's a big Alabama guy. Go figures. So again, we try to shy away from that. But a lot of fandom here. But yeah, so but you're right. I mean, seeing the different moves, some of them surprising, some of them not so much. I guess for me, I'm not really surprised by much of anything anymore that I see.
No, but I really was surprised about K9 because he was there off. If you remember, I mean, he was just doing everything in that game. He just took it over.
Yeah, and
they leaned on him.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're gonna have to eventually give Smith and Jigba the paycheck. You're gonna have to.
I think wide receivers are a dime a dozen, honestly. Yeah. I really do. I don't think you have to have a big special wide receiver anymore. I think you just got to have several really good ones.
Yeah.
And I think Drake London falls in that. I think he's almost a superstar, but not quite. And I think you put another few more great ones like that around him, and you got it. You don't have to have the superstar anymore, I don't believe.
Is he a top 10, you think? Drake London, top 10 receiver in the NFL?
Top 10? I would – healthy, I would probably put him top 10. Yeah, I wouldn't put him above that.
Yeah. I don't think it's so much that he's not a top 10. I just think that he hasn't been in a situation yet that's really allowed him to be a top 10 receiver, if that makes sense. I think all the intangibles are there. I think the skill set is there. I think he's got the speed. He's got the ability to win just about any 50-50 ball. I think he has the ability and space to be dangerous. Obviously can win in tight windows. I think he brings all the mechanics and the athleticism and everything that you need to the position. He's a pretty, decent sized guy too. But again, I just don't think he's been put in the position yet to where he's been able to transition yet into a top 10 receiver. But hopefully, and I say that, when you look at our quarterback room now and the situation may or may not happen. But we're going to continue this discussion over the next couple weeks and really over the next month leading up to the NFL draft, which is on the horizon as well. A lot of things on the horizon, man. I mean, Braves, you name it, a little bit of everything. But your final thoughts, Billy, as we wrap up here today and talking about NFL and the Falcons and free agency today.
Well, I'm excited about what's going to happen, what they're going to do with all these moves. With Stefanski, like I said, I had time to sleep on it, so I feel a little bit better about it now.
Sometimes that's all it takes is a good night's rest.
Yeah. But honestly, going into the weekend, I'm excited to watch the ACC championship, the SEC championship, getting ready for March Madness coming up. That's going to be kind of the sports that I'm looking at this weekend, and seeing how, of course, the drafts get finished signing off the free agents.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about we're talking about. Golf, talking about a lot of things that are coming up, particularly in Atlanta. And so we're obviously very excited to have a lot of things going on in our regional area and a lot to talk about over the next couple weeks as we continue to transition in. Billy D, it's been fun, man. Congratulations on winning that golf tournament, and I look forward to seeing you in when's the next one?
It's in 2 weeks, but I'll probably have to miss that one.
Well, hey, you already got what you needed right here. Yep. Hope you guys got what you needed right here on the program as well. It's the Morning Rant, hopefully being a little bit of a sunshine in your day here throughout the week. 10 to 11, Monday through Friday, weekdays, right here on the Sports Pig, the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. Thank you guys so much for being with us. Once again, follow us on all of our social mediums, the Sports Pig on Facebook and also on X. Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and of course the Morning Rant on Instagram at the Morning Rant and on YouTube. Again, full editions and versions available on our Morning Rant YouTube page, and so go ahead and check that out. Chuck Oliver coming up here in just a moment, and we appreciate you guys listening once again. This has been a Rally Towel Tuesday inside our Carriage Kia Studios. Dave Garner alongside Billy Dow. We appreciate you guys being with us once again. Looking forward to it again tomorrow. John will be back with us, and we'll also have a special guest in studio as well. All that and more coming up. And as always, right here on the program, we end every day by saying the same thing, and that is, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us right here on the Morning Rant.